Members of Hong Kong's media gather to hear the verdict of one of their own. The Sedition trial is the first in the territory against journalists since its handover from British to Chinese rule in 1997. Editors Chung Pui-kuen and Patrick Lam of the now-defunct Stand News and the outlet's parent company were found guilty of conspiracy to publish seditious content. The colonial-era sedition law had not been used for decades until 2020. Critics say it's now being used to crack down on dissent. The court said articles and commentaries published between 2020 and 2021 incited hatred against authorities in Beijing and Hong Kong. During the trial, Chung Pui-kuen testified that the outlet was a platform for free speech. He helped to build Stand News into one of the territory's leading media groups. It was forced to shut down in December 2021 after it was raided by the authorities and had its assets frozen. The case was seen as a test for press freedom in Hong Kong, but national security police see that differently.
According to the international covenant on the civil and the political rights, are very clear show that the freedom of this nature is not the absolute one. And in the interest of the national security and public safety and the public order, restriction can be imposed.
Beijing imposed a national security law on Hong Kong after the 2019 protests. In March, the territory passed its own domestic law that increased the maximum jail term for sedition to up to 10 years if a so-called external force was involved. Another former Stand News editor says journalists in Hong Kong face a new reality.
We are just afraid that it does not depend on your content, but depends on who you are, who you make this speech. I hope that is the end for the action against the media. I think that the freedom of speech is fragile in Hong Kong.
The government insists Hong Kong still enjoys these freedoms as guaranteed by its own constitution, but they are subject to restrictions. Authorities here say order and stability have been restored in the years since the 2019 anti-government protests. But for critics, this verdict is another worrying sign of the limits on freedoms once enjoyed in the city. Laura Westbrook, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
The 5 million people.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.